Take your place.
I didn't want to do it.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. And please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please consider the flag of the United States of America. To the republic which stands one nation, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, and it's good to see the usual suspects here, and thank you for coming. Just a reminder that the purpose of the board workshop is to allow the board members to have open discussion regarding action, and there will be no homeowner comments.
Broken.
Okay, no board or homeowner discussion at this meeting. Workshop items, we have two on the agenda. The first one is RBA number 23-002 IOPM changes, reserve fund, and
Thank you, Steph. It is the recommendation of the Finance Committee and the Reserve Fund Subcommittee that the Iron Oaks Policy Manual, Section 512C, under Reserve Fund, be modified to address the rollover, or we also known as spillover, of the board-approved budget components from the prior year that were not completed. Attached are the details surrounding this proposed IOPM policy change. These changes have been reviewed with management and were implemented at year-end 2022 to ensure the ease in application of the policies. Therefore, it is recommended that the board officially adopt the attached policies as referenced above and as detailed in the attachment. And if anyone wants to see the attachment afterwards, if you didn't pull it off the website, I have it here so that I can review with any of the homeowners after the meeting. Thank you.
thank you, Ann. Board discussion. Paula? All right, so this has gone through the subcommittee and as far as reserve fund, and
It's gone through the subcommittee. It went to the finance committee as a whole for discussion and recommendation. It was approved by management. We did tested the implementation as of year-end 2022 and made any corrections that management felt was appropriate. And here we are. We have a shovel-ready project, Paula.
all right, so this is for clarification purposes primarily.
It is absolutely, it provides definition to management, particularly May, on how these spillovers are in fact processed. If it was a project that had been started, we don't want to inflate the balance because we've already got a contract with an amount. If it's something we didn't even start last year and didn't even address, then certainly it should be inflated in the normal manner. So this provides clarity to management as to how these should all be done, and that helps everyone when we have clear policy.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. I propose this to be a consent item. Everybody in favor of that, please raise your left hand. Patrick, I need your hand raised. Thank you. Okay. It'll be a consent item. Thank you, Ann. Second.
My battery is bad. Many moving parts.
Okay, next on the agenda is RBA 23-004, elect Ivy Landscape Architect, Linnell.
Good morning, thank you, Stephanie. The 2023 reserve study includes refurbishing the monument signs and replacing bollard lights at the entrances. Management would like to use Collective to present design options to for our community signs and bollards. Collective's proposal is included with this RBA. Collective will prepare 2 monument sign concepts to include color, materials, finishes, landscape, potentially lettering and lighting. Collective will also provide up to 4 bollard light options with manufactured color, style, and approximate cost. Collective will attend 1 on-site meeting to present concepts.
Okay, thank you. I have one question. I see that we only have 1 vendor. Have you looked at other vendors to give us quotes?
So I think Michelle has spoken to a few vendors, but because this is someone that I've worked with before, and they will present options for buildings and grounds to review. We went with the 1 vendor because he is just doing the design work and not the actual work. This would go out for bid when it comes to the point of getting the work done.
So all this is doing is just getting us a design created, is that correct?
Correct.
Any other? Go ahead. And
I personally, there were other bids that we looked at. I think to be in compliance with our purchasing and contracting and inside the IOPM, we need to have 3 bids. This will probably be the best of them all, but we need to we need to comply with the policy manual of 2 other bids.
And thank you for bringing that up. I might have misunderstood because it's under the $5,000. Do we still, that doesn't, okay. All right, thank you.
That's okay. It's a learning curve.
All right, thanks.
any other comments?
Is there a way to set the default turn off on this so we've got a little bit more time to talk before it shuts off?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to look at it.
Okay.
It's the first time it's being used.
Learning process. That's all right. Thank you.
Did we pay for them?
Anybody else?
My microphone is staying on just fine. Because there's a problem on there.
You can do all the talking, Paula.
That's, yeah.
But I think, well, now that I said it. I think that would help us, Linnell, because I still, I need some more clarification, I guess. And that would give us some idea, before we look forward to the workshop. Okay. And I might give you a couple more ideas as far as what would be helpful for the information too. And yes, it's under the 5,000, but I think this is also something that could lead into a lot more as we go along.
And
One other item this was a revised RBA. I noticed. Did that get posted on the website? So
It did not. I revised it last night.
okay.
Yeah. So for the board meeting, it will be provided.
We, if at all possible, we might try to get it out so homeowners have the time to see.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I did, hello? Anyway, it was just a couple of details with the reserve component numbers and amounts, so nothing earth shattering. On there.
Just one more comment. Changing our signs is not something we do frequently. It's, and so I think to spend a little bit of time up front, maybe get some different, options as to design and that type of thing.
Yeah, that's what this is for, to get the different design options.
Right, I understand that, but I think if we have different vendors, maybe trying to. Because that's what we're saying, we want more than one vendor to come up with some ideas. It would give us more options, because these are big. I mean, we live with these signs for about 10, 12, 15 years after we redo them, so.
Well, so each vendor will, each vendor that will provide options will come with a cost, so that you would have to approve all the different vendors with all the different, if you go with, if I present you with, other vendors just for the initial design work, then, we'll select one, right? We'll use them for the design work. And then, so if there's design changes, that one vendor will do the change. Right? Does that make, so you will have more options based on one design.
You know, board members, this in some ways is similar to what we did to get the conceptual designs for the second phase of the master plan. We went to Scott, the architect that we used at Ironwood. We did not go to 3 different architects to get those conceptual designs. So if this is what we're talking about,
Yes, similar.
should we rethink this? That's just a question.
Can I add something?
Yes.
So, last summer, a sign company came out and did an inventory of all of our signs. Spent the day with him. We measured, we did all of that. He has submitted some designs. This was before Linnell. There was no cost to that. We had another company who took the signage drawings. I sent it to them. They have provided some concept design options. So I think we're pretty comfortable with those 2 bids, but this is kind of apples and oranges. Once Linnell and I took a look at those 2 bids, we said, you know what, we're also dealing with bollards. We're also dealing with a huge project that we felt like we really wanted a professional who she had worked with and did signage in Dobson Ranch and made sure everything coordinated. And that's, I mean, we can submit the other 2 bids, but it's kind of apples and oranges.
I would hope that we would put together an RFP so that when we send this out for bids, we're having every vendor bid in according to the RFP that we put out. So then when it comes back and you put this together, Linnell, the board will be able to see apple for apple for apple.
And I think that's what this guy is doing.
That's what, but
It's backing us
one
up.
vendor with one set of costs, and we're looking at what does each of the vendors provide in the way of cost and maybe a little extra something. But the RFP should make sure the scope of work is clearly defined, so each vendor that we're seeking is going to come back with the basics, with the same information for us.
Yeah, and that will happen down the road.
Well, but even in this design and these upfront and these costs, we have miscellaneous costs and fees
So
and.
you want, let me just clarify so I understand. You want an RFP for the design work. And that will not come with concepts. It'll just come with the cost of them to do the.
If we need to define what we want them to do. Look,
So, Ann, can I ask a question? Are you asking for an RFP? So instead of paying $4,000 for one company to do the design, we want to pay 12?
No, well,
Just for the design work and not for any of the signs, or?
well, the signs will come later. If we want design work and we want logo options and we want this and we want that. That's what we should be asking for from all three of the vendors, just so we're getting apple for apple. That's all we're asking, because, there we go. Didn't hold down long enough. As, Michelle wonderfully indicated, she has two others, but they had a whole different approach and bid, and it wasn't the same. So we can't really utilize that, because for us to make a decision here, we want to make sure we're dealing with same information. That's all I'm saying.
So because I just want to make sure we're clear. So it was one thing for them to come up and throw some ideas out. And it's another thing for them to spend their time on a complete design package. So if each of them are going to charge us, is it worth paying 3 times more to get 3 different styles of design just for the design work? Because I think that's where the mail is leading to is if we're going to do 3 bids, if we're going to pick 3 people and have 3 separate companies do the design options, it's going to cost, instead of $4,000, it's going to cost us $12,000. Is that what we really?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying, I'm saying each one will be standalone. Each one will, it's green. Each one would be standalone based on what we are asking in the area of design work only. And that should come as a free cost, because they're bidding for the
It's a battery issue. We have batteries coming.
Have we paid for these things?
So all you're looking for is 3 companies to say, we will charge you X amount of dollars to do the design. Another one will charge you X amount of dollars to do the design. And another one will say X amount of dollars to do design, but you're not going to get any design options until you decide to pay somebody.
I don't think that's what we're looking for. I think it would be even helpful if Michelle would share with us what she got from the other 2 vendors, so we know that at least
She did, we got those drawings last year sometime. Yeah, remember the logo controversy?
understand that. Maybe we need to kind of clarify some things before we go forward here at the workshop. So we'll have the right information.
Okay, who wants this to be a consent item?
John,
That and Linnell don't count. Thank you. Okay, this will not be a consent item. Moving right along.
Linnell's wanting one question.
Before I bring this back to the board, so my understanding from this discussion is I'm to come back with an RBA for the scope of work outlined in this proposal, but from 2 additional companies. So I'm going to do an RFP for 2 other companies to come back with 3 design types.
I'm gonna let you know what I feel we need to have here.
I'm gonna match.
Clarify with you before
Yeah.
the board meeting what needs to.
Okay, but I'm gonna match what this proposal is and get 2 additional proposals that match this. Yes, okay.
We're clear on that? All right.
But important for my clarification, all we will have after Linnell does that is what 3 companies will charge us, but we won't have a clue as to, they won't be giving us anything to judge their work by. It's just what they're gonna charge us to do it. And we. But is that a decision we're gonna make based on, we're not gonna have anything to judge those 3 RFPs because they're not giving us anything other than what they're gonna charge? All we're gonna have is dollar numbers.
we can do that if we want to pay 3 times.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just jump in here and say Linnell, you'll work with Paula and Ann to get this straightened out. That would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, wouldn't we ask also, as part of this RFP, to ask for examples out there work. Yeah. I mean, I think we could certainly get an idea of what type of stuff they do if we ask, for example.
I think that was part of it.
You broke it again.
I'm green. Okay, now I'm gonna go. I think that was part of what the documentation that Michelle gave us last, in the summer sometime. So again, Linnell, Paula, and you get it where we need it to be. Thank you. All right, moving right along, updates, discussion items, Ironwood update. John.
Thank you, Stephanie. Good morning, everyone. As you all know, I'm pleased to announce that the work over at Roloff Marine Renovation has been completed. This week, we are working through training on our staff and culinary staff. They really haven't had a chance to get in there yet. So that's what we're focusing on this week. We do have a few minor wrap-up items we're getting to today and tomorrow. We should be in really good shape. On the invoicing side, we are starting to receive our final invoices from our vendors, so we'll be able to do a financial wrap-up shortly. And of course, as a part of the project process, I will do a complete wrap-up, soup to nuts of the project, from what went well, from where we missed, to where we could do better, all that good stuff. So I'll be sharing that with the board and the community, probably in March is the plan. Just want to remind everybody that on Friday and Saturday this week from 3 to 5, we have a open house, if you will. It's a ticketed event. I think we gave out all the tickets already. We have 200 people on Friday, 200 people on Saturday from 3 to 5. We'll be passing out hors d'oeuvres, which mirror some of the food items. We'll be serving at Grill on the Green, cash bar, and live entertainment as well. So it should be a good event. And then on Sunday, February 19th, we'll open up at 11 a.m. with our a la carte service. And as you may have heard, we did host this last Sunday, and it went very well. So that's my update on that.
Patrick.
Yeah, I would like to just say that the event on Sunday, the Super Bowl, the staff did amazing. And especially with the fact that they had so little time to practice and prepare. The event went off really well. The food was excellent. You guys did an amazing job. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, I just want to say, I've been over there frequently towards the end of the project, and I never stopped by that there weren't some people out for a walk or a bike ride that stopped in to just check it out. They're so excited. The people close by were there really excited about having this. And I did go over Sunday just to take a few pictures, and everybody was really having a great time. So it's a great culmination to a lot of work. So.
Okay, thank you. Ironwood Golf Shop enhancements, John.
Yes, now that we've completed the Grill on the Green, we need to revisit the golf shop area enhancements. As you may or may not know, we have 2 reserve. Not letting my finger on.
Maybe we should do a microphone.
Yeah, we have 2 reserve items for this. And as you know, if you've been over to the golf shop, it needs a little bit of help. So currently, items number 6400 has $30,000 and 6402 has $7,500. My sense is homeowners would certainly enjoy a much improved golf shop over there to commensurate with Grill on the Green. So, thank you. So I'll be working with our golf shop liaison, our advisory committee group for golf, our professional staff, and Blue Star, pulling something together to make that side of the enhancement for the Ironwood Clubhouse much better. And the things I'm talking about, so the community knows, is it's not a building project. It's really an interior project consisting of things like paint, carpet, lighting, baseboards, merchandise fixtures and new desks, things of that nature. So it definitely needs an enhancement. And I will start to this project. I'd like to start this project obviously this summer and complete it this summer while the traffic is light over there to cause the least amount of disruption for our callers.
Okay, thank you, John. Any questions, comments on golf shop enhancements? All righty. Master plan focus groups, Charlene?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Master Planning Committee, they scheduled and held 3 rounds of focus groups for each of the 3 projects in the second phase of the master plan. Those were completed. Homeowners that offered to participate were all included. No one was excluded from that process. At the end of that, the committee member that facilitated the various focus groups provided a summary of the 3 different sessions, sent it to all the people who participated. It was also posted, I believe, on Stand the Loop, and it also went out via unit captains. So everyone has had a chance to see the comments, suggestions that came in from those focus groups. After that, now I think that we are in a position, and that's a second round of focus groups. We did a abbreviated version earlier over the summer, but I think we're ready now to fine tune the scope of work for each of those 3 projects and move forward. The other thing is just a little bit off topic, but the other thing that was decided at the Master Planning Committee yesterday with previous input from Ann and John is that we're going to take the second phase of the master plan and we're going to separate the 3 different projects because they're going to be done sequentially for various different reasons. In particular, the pools are not, we're not going to do anything to those right now. We've got work and study we need to do there before we know what we're dealing with. So at next month's board meeting, we'll be bringing an RBA forward to separate those 3 projects, continue through the project process plan. And it'll also give homeowners a little bit more transparency as they can track the various projects as they move through the process.
Okay, thank you, Charlene. Any questions, comments from the board? All right, the board directors election, Paula was, give us, I guess.
I think, Myron is to give us an update on that.
Okay. As you all know that there were 4 questions asked of each of the candidates. Questions 1 and 2 already came out. 3 and 4 came out this morning on Spittle or whatever. So those are it. We're ready to, essentially election is ready to go. The vendors, electronic vendors got the database. I checked it out of all various combinations. So how you vote, it's going to work. The reason I say that is because during the phase fund vote, there was a lady that couldn't vote on her iPad because the button would work. And I told her to try something else and worked on her iPhone. There was a hardware issue on her iPad. So again, we check all this stuff out ahead of time for the electronic vote so that be assured that it works. Vote opens, electronic vote is open at 1 o'clock Friday, 1 a.m. It's always a contest to see who's first. Charlene and I had a bet on the basement who was going to be first, and I pumped out at 10 o'clock. We're at 11:30, so we swap. The paper ballots will be out at the concierge desk. They're all printed and ready to go. They'll be out there at 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday. The mailers are out. They should be coming today, tomorrow, yesterday. Yeah. That's up to the post office. Now, the interesting point on the mailers, 93% of the eligible voters for this election vote will get an invitation from the electronic vendor to vote because they have their emails listed in the database. So essentially, they don't even need their neighbors, but they just click here and boom, they're full. So, if you don't get a mailer and you have your email in the database, don't worry about it. You'll get an invitation. That's about it. I think we're ready to go. We're good. Ready to go.
Thank you. Thank you, Myron. Any questions, comments?
When do we go?
Pardon?
When do we go? When does it open up?
Friday.
1 o'clock.
1 p.m.
AM. All right, let me make sure. Thank you, Myron. Intel's presentation of at board meeting, Paula.
Guess what? Intel is going to be here again. And we had the task force meeting with their representatives last Wednesday to kind of get some of our concerns to them. So hopefully they will be presenting some answers to those concerns at our meeting next Wednesday. They have been so impressed with our homeowners coming to their presentations. In other words, they're overwhelmed. All right. They cannot believe that we have such an interested community. And I hope we don't let our community down. Tell everybody to come. We need numbers. And they have listened to us in some respects. They're talking about a $21 billion project over there. And yes, some of our concerns, they cannot, let's say, give the positive answers that we would like. But the wall is just about done. If anybody has seen that big wall over there, it's humongous. And a lot of our homeowners are pleased with what has helped with the noise. And SRP is also going to be here at this meeting. And I don't know if any of you have gotten any directions when it's come to GPS to go down Old Price Road. That is one concern that has come up now that Old Price Road has been opened up all the way. The GPS has put people through that road, and vendors for one thing, because you'll get a call and they'll say, I don't know where I'm at. How do I get to your community? But they've been directed to get on Oak Price Road over there on, what is that, road that goes there and then comes down and through. And I know that Intel's working on that to try to see what they can do as far as that. We need people here. We need questions and concerns, because that is the only way they will listen to us if they know our community is still interested in what's happening over there. So please bring everybody here. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Have the birds gone so they can take the trees down?
The birds have not gone. They'll answer that question at our meeting. So we did ask that, John, right? And we did get an answer. So come to the meeting and you'll get that answer. All right.
Okay, thank you. Any other? Ann?
And what is the magic date of this big event, Paula?
February 22nd,
Hey.
1 week from today, and
1 week from today.
that means your financial report will be cut short.
You mean it's going to be cut here?
Yeah.
Buy low and sell high. That's all I can do.
Steph, can I ask Paula, what are the issues that are still kind of on the table so that
The dead trees, for one thing. There is uneven land between the two walls that when it rains, water stands. So we're concerned with mosquitoes. So hopefully there'll be some grading taking place once the old trees are out and before they replace those new, put in the new trees. I think now that the wall's in, What are they gonna do with the surface of the wall? Are they gonna paint it? How are they gonna paint it? And, also, well, the GPS is one of the big things. And speeding, John helped me out here, on, Old Price Road from Riggs to Intel.
Yes, we addressed that with them. Current speed limit is 35. We think it should be 25, so that's still under discussion. There's also a question about maintenance access between our northern wall and their wall to maintain the trees and landscape as well.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Annual meeting, March 29th, Paula.
Yes, that's another meeting you need to come to. That is your meeting. An annual meeting is really for the homeowners. And I think last year we had a great annual meeting. We had a great turnout. We're going to be giving raffle prizes away again. We have a very excellent water expert that is coming to help us understand the water mandate that we have to abide by, our state has to abide by as we go forward. It is here. And the other thing is that it is important that we all understand there are certain state laws that deal with HOAs. And so we will have our HOA lawyer here to define some of those laws. They are in the legislature right now, and there are a couple very important issues that are going to come forward as far as voting that could really affect our HOA. And so I think it's important that you as a homeowner understand that there also are some laws out there that our HOA has to abide by. I think there was a thing on TV the other day about pickleball. Did anybody see that? The noise factor, there's a lawsuit that's going forward about that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Also, we're going to have a little financial summary, very condensed financial summary. And, if you have any questions, I think Michelle's going to have that up there that you can send in a question prior and just come. This is your meeting, all right? So I want to see here again. It was great to see so many people at the Meet the Candidates. Don't get me wrong, I love to see you guys here too, but I'd like to see this whole room full at our board workshops and our board meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Any other questions? Open discussion. Any board member have an item for open discussion? Paula.
I'm sorry, but
Oh, you're not.
yes, I am. But this is the most important thing that I think I'd like to put out there. I am so proud of this HOA. I'm proud of Michelle over there that's sitting over there. She has worked her tail off as far as blood donations this whole year. Every time we have a blood donation, I think pretty much all of the appointments are filled. I think we have a couple of guys sitting here that are two guys that already signed up, Ray, Chuck. We thank you for that. You know, our homeowners are generous people, and we don't applaud that enough. We are going to, because of this, receive the Impact Award at the annual meeting that's going to be held downtown from our blood group. And Michelle, what is the name of our blood group?
By talent.
By talent. Get you in here.
No, I thought you were
are
asking me
so-
for a new name.
No, now sometimes people do so much work and we don't know about it. But I applaud you, and as we've got to get our communication director to get this out to our people that Iron Oaks received this award this year. So whoever our communication director is, it better get out there and it better get the splash. All right, thank you.
Pat, Dave, anything? Okay, Dave, Lott, anything? Ann? Darlene? Oh, I have something then. I don't know what's happening, but I see Steve in the audience and he always reminds me of security. And last week, there was a lady, obviously homeless, wandering around our community. I saw her, she was coming down the cart path on Sonoran 5, looking for Willis. And she ultimately ended up at the pro shop. What are we doing with situations like this? I know she got escorted off property. Is there anything that we can do to prevent more situations like this? I mean, they can walk and crawl right underneath the gates. Do we have an answer?
Well, we can't prevent it because we're not, we don't have the motor around, yeah. But we do escort them on, and that was one of our discussion items when we had our patrol meeting last week with the Arizona Rangers, how we can partner together when those scenarios are presented to us. So yeah, we do escort them off, and then the Arizona Rangers will assist in them.
When you escort them on, where do you put them?
Off our property, they're trespassing.
Okay, is it, you just take them outside the gate then, or do you?
Yes, and then we can alert authorities, and that's where the Arizona Rangers can, often there's, maybe services that could be offered to them. So in partnership with Arizona Rangers and law enforcement, they can be, offered services or, help if needed. But yes, once they're off our property, they will, fall in the hands of law enforcement.
And you mentioned the Arizona Rangers. I just have one more question. I have people saying we passed and approved the Arizona Rangers back on campus. We don't see them. Will we see them, or?
You will see them. We'll be in communication with them when they're on property, right? Part of that before, and then it's also in the civil, either last week, I think it was last week, formally announcing a partnership with them. But we wanted to hold that meeting with patrol before they, initiated their services. And communication, working on the communication procedures. So yes, we'll say that.
All right, thank you. Any other questions, comments? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Patrick moves, Dave Irwin seconds. All in favor, raise your left hand. Thank you. Our next board meeting will be a week from today in the same location. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.